Oh, you don't have to worry about that.
But sometimes you'd be like, and then subhanallah, mashallah, and then I felt the malaika were nearby, and then the adhan was called, and when he got to the shahada, I said, wow,
man. My name is Omar Fouché. I'm from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. I've been Muslim since 2000, so 16 years now. And prior to Islam, I was a Christian. Growing up as a Christian in Chapel Hill, it's a very liberal town, so there wasn't a lot of pressure on me to do anything. The best way to say it is there was really not a lot of practice that went with any religion in Chapel Hill. It's a college town, so it's very free-flowing. So that's pretty much my background. My grandmother was probably the most religious of all of our family members. And then my mom and my dad, they had us going to church. I was in the choir and things along those lines. But I think just in terms of the seriousness, I didn't have the same conviction as my grandparents, I would say, my grandmother mostly. My wife was the first one to get some information about Islam from a coworker that she had. And she would bring the pamphlets home, and I would begin to read them. And then I would ask her more questions about Islam. And she couldn't answer them, and I couldn't answer them. So that led us to a dinner with the family. And then we just started pretty much talking about the similarities between Christianity and Islam. And once I found out how close they were, how similar they were, it really made the transformation for us very easy. And there wasn't really a lot of reservations on our part because it was just so easy. I didn't really have a lot of concerns about my friends so much, but my family, I was kind of concerned what my mom would think, and my dad. I know my mom was a little bit concerned just because of what she might have seen on the news or something along those lines, and pretty much wondering what type of person I would become after I became a Muslim. So there was some concerns there, but I've always been pretty grounded, and I think once they realized that I was studying Islam, so I actually knew pretty much what I was getting into, I think they became a lot more comfortable as opposed to me just hearing it from someone on the street and just not studying and going about it that way. So that made them a lot more comfortable, I would say. The thing that attracted me to Islam was the justice and the fairness. When I realized how straightforward Islam was, say how inclusive Islam is, that it's a religion for everyone and not just this group of people or something along those lines, I was just really attracted to that. The fact that the Creator loved everyone equally. That was what really did it for me. And that the Creator wasn't a person or wasn't a human. Well, once I accepted Islam, I just was so happy. I'm just so happy from accepting Islam. And I just want to, do things that will be pleasing to God. So I'm seeking out opportunities all the time to be good to my parents, especially because that's a part of the Quran. It's being good to your parents. Being better with my siblings, my sisters and brothers. So I always try to be a good person, a good representative of Islam. My relationship with God before and after Islam was, I would say that's a hard question, because I kind of knew or I kind of felt that Islam was the truth prior to accepting Islam, but I didn't accept Islam right away. So I was always aware of my actions. I think the difference was I became a little bit more serious about the things that I did. The best way to explain it is I kind of knew what I should be doing, but I didn't know the consequences of my actions. So I wasn't as concerned with them. But once I started studying Islam and knew that, you know, you have to be held accountable for the things you do, that made it easier for me, because it made it easier for me to stay away from the things I should be staying away from and try to go towards some of those things I should be rushing towards. So that was the big change for me. God is going to protect you, and He's going to provide for you. The same way He gave you the truth, He's going to continue to give for you. Know that He really has your back.